6 defying orders. The Detroit police chief turned down a commissioner's request for a department car. So why did she end up driving one anyway? Well, 7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig is live in Detroit tonight. And Kim, you talked to all the key players in this, so what's the explanation tonight?
Well, Carolyn, the explanation is actually rooted in some political he said, she said. It's between the board president and the board secretary, who is a lawyer.
I do know that my staff looked into it. And we said no.
Police Chief James Craig says his staff denied a request for a city-owned car for Jessica Taylor, who heads up the Board of Police Commissioners. So the chief and his staff were surprised to find out that Chairperson Taylor had gotten a city car anyway.
I'm very sensitive about, those vehicles are assigned to our fleet, and I want to make sure they're being used appropriately.
Nobody thought they were doing anything wrong. I certainly wouldn't go against any policy.
Taylor, who was appointed to the Board of Police Commissioners in 2011, says it was the board secretary, George Anthony, who secured a vehicle for her from the office of the chief investigator, who also works for the board. And Taylor says she had no idea the chief had already told the board secretary no, it was not appropriate for her to have a city-owned car.
I just found out yesterday from the chief that he did have them to research it, and they did tell George Anthony, the board secretary, but that information never got to me. And I didn't know anything about it until yesterday.
As soon as she learned that, according to what we found out, she immediately turned the vehicle in. The issue is, when we communicated it through the board secretary, it wasn't conveyed to her, according to a statement she made to me.
But this afternoon, Action News spoke to George Anthony, the board secretary, who seems to be catching the heat for this today. And he says that he did tell Chairperson Jessica Taylor that the police chief denied the vehicle request back on March 5th. And after that, he says Taylor told him to go to their office of the chief investigator to get the vehicle. And so he did. But Taylor denies knowing there was even an issue until yesterday.
Had I been aware that the chief had declined the car, it certainly wouldn't have been any problem. As a matter of fact, I don't even think they would have given it to me at OCI, the chief investigator, had they known that. So nobody knew that.
And one thing seems clear, the next conversation between the president of the Board of Police Commissioners and the board secretary should be an interesting one. In downtown Detroit, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.